the one for the orders. So if you're in Iberian culture, so we're Galician, which belongs to this culture. And if you're Catholic, you can establish holy orders. That's a golden century thing. And I'll demonstrate the full cycle on July. But basically the idea is you use holy orders. That's going to increase dev by 1 in each province. And then you culture flip out, and then you culture flip back to Galician, and you can keep repeating the process. So basically every 2 months you get 1 dev in each province in the state. So I've been repeating this for basically 150 years. Actually, no, I've been doing this for over 200 years actually, since I have over 600 dev. But you'll see on July. Okay. We stack wipe Brandenburg? No way. That's insane. Alright, and we should 100% after this siege. Okay, so every odd month, so July is odd, 7. Here's what we do. We do our holy orders. We prioritize dip because we want production and goods produced. We want a very high and successful Tibet. And then after, we have estates, and I'll explain why the estates pop up, but we can milk our points from estates. And we're just gonna give a fairly even split. It's 4-3. And that's enough to get the 100% influence. So we get 200 points, 200 admin dip and mill. And then what we do is we flip to Muscovite. So we flipped out of Galician, and we flipped to Muscovite. Once we're Muscovite, we can become a Vecchi Republic. Vecchi Republics don't have estates. So what happens is if you wait 1 month, our estates are gone because we're a merchant republic. Merchant republics have factions and not estates. Okay, then what's next? So after that, we flip back to Galician, and since we're no longer East Slavic, we are no longer Vecchi Republic. We're a generic republic. This has no absolutism penalties, which is really good. But we don't select a reform. Now, generic republics have estates. That's the key insight here. So if you let a month tick, we have estates again, and all the interactions are reset. So basically, every 2 months, we can get 200 mil admin and dip points. So that's why you see me being very careless with admin and mill. But we spend 200 dip points culture flipping to Muscovite and Galician. So the 200 points we get from the estates kind of cancel out the culture flip costs. And this is what powers us to be able to repeatedly culture flip. Now, culture flipping is affected by all power cost. So right now we have 10 innovativeness, or 100 innovativeness, and we're in golden arrow. So we have a minus 20% power cost. 19.1 due to corruption, which means each culture flip costs 80, not 100. And because each culture flip costs 80, we're effectively gaining 40 dip every 2 months. Now, these holy orders cost 50 each, so we're not going to be able to do double dip clicks every time. This is why this state has a lot of tax. And it's very important that we dev these at the same time. Because if you check, these are all Muscovite, and these are all Galician. In fact, these are my only full states. In fact, even my capital, which is over here, my capital is not a state. So what that means is I have a 50-50 clean split of Galician and Muscovite, so I can culture flip at will. And that's the whole trick. And the idea is then we spam dip dev. This is 698. Hopefully it gets a bit higher. And we're gonna send this through all the way around 15 hops to get to the White Sea. That's the rough idea. Now some plans didn't work out the way I intended. So I actually had to move my capital to the New World. And the reason I did that is because of this. Coal. Coal gives you the ability to build a furnace, which is 5% goods produced. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So basically I'm getting 40% goods produced by moving my capital to the New World. And that's the reason my capital is here. Hopefully that makes sense. Oops. Yeah, so I need to milk estates. And that's also why my manpower is ridiculous. If you look at my manpower, it's 95 million. It's because the nobility estate at 100 influence gives you 2 years worth of manpower. And same idea for money, although at this point, money's not an issue. Like, I'm literally making money with probably like a couple K over my force limit, or a couple hundred over my force limit. Unfortunately, this strategy is very difficult to do in the new patch, 1.29. The reason this is so clean is because Vecchia Republics don't have an absolutism malice. So I can keep my high absolutism. I think they stealth nerfed Vecchia Republics. I think they have like -50 absolutism.